Greetings! Welcome to the Devlog for hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, I am still frantically preparing for GDC and showing off for the first time the new scene for the game that is going to both be our GDC demo and showing off all of the sort of upgrades that the game has been getting over the past 2 months, really. And it's going to be the new tutorial scene for the game. But before we jump into that, I wanted to show something fun, something small that I decided to throw in as a new toy to show this week. That has been done by Stefan. That is an absolute hoot. Those of you who've been following the devlogs know that we've recently put in a bunch of pistol stocks, allowing you to essentially carbine up your handguns, but all of the ones that have been added so far have been old-fashioned. They've been for old Lugers and Mausers. Well, I've got something to show you, which is we've got two new modern ones now that are absolutely gorgeous. Let's pop this one onto our 1911. We can pull this in and out, so get at the appropriate distance we want from our shoulder, and of course we can grab a foregrip to pop onto there as well. Get way more stability. Wonderful. Absolutely a hoot. Has a whole bunch of opportunity. You can put these on the large ones. Obviously, you can also do some ridiculous things, like popping them onto our little Jetfire here. It actually rescales to properly fit it. You have to pull that out so it can actually fit in the shoulder. Can't get my head down to it, but not that we really need it with a 25 ACP, but still fun to customize things. And of course, if we're going making something even more intense, we can throw it on a say our G22 auto here, and actually, you know what? Let's grab this and get even more stability for what would otherwise be a very uncontrollable machine pistol. Wonderful. Along with this has come the first of what is going to be several updates to possible muzzle devices. I had to recode the way that system works, as it had been built under the assumption initially that the only thing that you were popping on was a suppressor. But we now have a set of barrel extenders. These auto scale just like the other sorts of muzzle devices. We've got a short, a medium, and a long here, and yes, you can chain them together to get preposterously long-barreled devices now. So let's pop that one on. These don't screw on for a bunch of complicated reasons. Only the suppressor at the end does. So now let's pop that on there. Perfect. What a ridiculous item. I don't think I can even get it on view all at once. It is there we go. Let's try this out. Oh, wonderful. So yeah, so hopefully you will all enjoy the even more ridiculous options we have now to kit out and transform all of the various handguns that are in the game into super high-tech looking carbines. So there you have it. So let's go ahead and jump on over to the other scene so you can take a peek at all the stuff that I've been frantically putting into it. So we are over at the sampler platter scene. You'll notice there is a new starting area that I did not show last week. It is the remains, the unfortunate remains of the sampler platter restaurant proper. Turns out having an ordnance range right next to a restaurant would not be a good idea. But thankfully, the ranges themselves are still intact. So let's take a look at how those are coming along. You will notice that we have right here at the beginning of the scene a set of sort of intro panels that mimic what are in the main menu scene, but far better illustrated. Thanks so much, Lucas. These are so great. Um, and we've got a map of our scene that shows that sort of has these sort of quick icons to jump to various areas of them, or the ability to just start off at the hors d'oeuvres. So if we jump on over to the hors d'oeuvres, we have, as I think I was showing last week, a sort of area here, our wonderful little buffet with our various throwing toys. We've got some beautiful new explosion sounds for these, and just some grenade sounds. Pop that spoon off. Oh! Up, over through that. Let's spawn like this. Let's make sure we get this good. Let's aim for that barrel. Boom! Ah, delightful. Love those chain reactions. As I think I mentioned last week, all of the targets, all of the sort of destructible ones in these ranges are auto resetting. So you can just stand here as long as you want. If you're just like, I want to stand here with dynamite and just keep throwing dynamite at things. Oops. As I hit into something that is actually in my physical track range right now. Clean your living room, Anton. Delightful. Delightful. Oh, and really importantly, we now have this sort of dynamic instruction sign in our plane. So if we pick up our dynamite, it will automatically detect it. It isn't at the moment, but I think I know why. But basically, the whole idea is that this detects what object you're holding and then automatically serves you a state-dependent sort of instruction for what to do next. To our right, we have this map. Basically, if you teleport between those, it automatically aligns your tracked range with the given range that you're at. So especially if you're in a front-facing configuration, as long as you use this panel to jump between areas, you should never even have to worry about rotating yourself at all, which is super convenient for users who are just getting used to things. Let's jump on over to the salad bar here. We've got all of our different handguns and a range of things to shoot at. My personal favorite here is, of course, the revolver. So yeah, so it's telling us to open the revolver, press left on the trackpad. These will eventually be platform specific. So if you are using touch or using Windows MR, you will see diagrams actually showing your controller and what to click on the controller, aiding the process of getting started. Okay, beautiful. Swing that shut, and then let's take some shots. Perfect. And we're out. Let's put that back in its tray. Oh, and importantly, this one actually has a new fun device. This is called the melon baller. I'm totally going to embarrass myself by not being terribly good at it. I am going to eventually create more things like this, but I figured it would be fun to have an automatic target thrower. Ah, terrible. There we go. I'm not going to stand here and embarrass myself. But yeah, so we can have this going slow. You can bring firearms from other parts of the scene over into here. We can, of course, go slow. We can go very fast. Or anything in between. You can turn it off. Sweet. So that is the salad bar. Jumping right along, we have the soup station. Ew, gross. Which introduces us into the control mechanics for using SMGs, as you can see here, as well as shotguns. Got a couple spawners here for shells for you. Load this up. I love the 1897 so much. It's so beautiful. Oh. And in there, let's blow up some meat. This soup is disgusting. Beautiful. And they just slide right out of there. Back into the soup. gross. Awesome. There's also, if you just want, once this scene is live, next week you'll be able to play around. I actually, for the first time, tried to do some things involving buoyancy, as you can see, which it's a little. Oh man, that is just spinning. We need to definitely play with the angular drag there a bit. But yeah, so you can throw things right in. It's actually really fun to shoot a handgun underwater because all the casings just eject upward and then sort of bobble above you. Moving right along, we've got the hot bar, this is basically a 100-meter range. As I think I mentioned before, I'm going to also place some targets up in the mountains there for those of you who are exceptionally good marksmen. Pop that in there. Take some shots. I gotta say, I've been testing with the Vive Pro all week, so it's a little weird going back to the standard headset, just because of performance for recording, and my computer's getting a little old. Oh! Oh, delightful. Delightful. Oh, awesome. As well as introducing you to how to use attachments. So I've got the M4 out here. I've got some attachments, both functional and goofy, for folks to try out when they're over in this scene. And then lastly, of course, we have the dessert table, which has a whole bunch of the biggest and loudest and best toys. We've got the Gatling gun here. We've got the revamped minigun that sounds fantastic in our new sound system. Yes! Throw that over there. And we've got the RPG rebuilt in our new sound system. One of the things that you'll notice, and it's just with the explosion sounds, is I need to figure out some pooling system logic to make this more generalized. But we actually have, for explosion sounds, real travel time for the sound effects. So of course, we've heard nearby explosions where it sounds pretty much instant, but even at the back of this range here, we can hear the delay. Boom. And if we send this sucker up into the mountains, oh, we didn't actually get to see it pop there, so let's see if we can aim a little lower. Ah, beautiful. It's amazing how much adding in that little bit of delay helps make an explosion sound like what it is, which is this sort of shock wave that takes a second to get to us. Oh, I could just stand here all day. So that completes the preview of this scene. I have to race back to getting this tuned and ready for GDC. There's still some performance optimizations I need to do for this, rebaking occlusion culling, making sure my shadow settings are right, and such. There isn't going to be an alpha this weekend. I just do not have the time to both push that out and make sure this demo is set. But what I'm going to be doing before I leave for GDC is actually pushing this in preparation for you being able to try it out on the same day that we're going to be showing it on GDC. So next Friday, it isn't even going to be in the evening. It's just going to be during the day. I'm going to set the build live because it will be completely ready, and you'll be able to jump in and try this out. As I mentioned, all the controls on the help panel will still be Vive specific, but once GDC is over, it's going to be one of the first things we work on, getting the platform detection in there. Boom. Perfect. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.